Hi, I'm Kenny Anderson, and welcome to Getting to Know Your Local Police. This is an ongoing series of opportunities that we are presenting in order for you to get to know a little something about the people that serve us in this community so well. Today, I want to introduce you to Officer Stephen Jackson. Welcome to the broadcast, Officer Jackson.
Welcome.
It's good to have you here. We've been talking with lots of officers over the last few weeks about their role as police officers in the community. And one of the reasons we wanted to do this show was to say that we not only appreciate the work that you do and we really respect the work that you do, but we also recognize that when you take the uniform off, when you take the badge off, you look a lot like us. I mean, you're human beings and you're flesh and blood, and you think, you feel, you have relationships and all those other kinds of things, hobbies perhaps. And we just thought we'd find out a little bit about you today. But I always like to start from the beginning. And for most people, the beginning is like where you're from. So tell us where you're from.
Well, I'm originally from Dothan, Alabama. And I was born there, and I went to college and put in for an application here at the Huntsville Police Department, and I wound up here.
Did you in college, did you have an interest in being a police officer, or was it something that just evolved?
I had an interest in being a police officer during that time.
Okay. When did you know you wanted to be a police officer?
After I got out of college.
Okay. Was it something that happened, or were you just thinking about career options?
I was leaning more towards getting into the federal government, and I submitted a couple applications for the police department, and they started hiring, and I said, okay, I'm gonna try this route, and it was the most successful for me.
Wonderful. And so you went to the academy, you were accepted,
Yes,
and got into the academy. I've been asking several of your fellow officers what the academy experience was like. What was it like for you?
It was enjoyable. It was fun. I got a chance to meet some new guys and do some fun things with them.
Yeah. And so obviously you successfully passed, and it was a graduation service, and probably lots of people came out to cheer you on.
Sure.
And you got right into the work. What was the most difficult thing you found about getting into this work?
It was an adjustment for me. Getting out, meeting people, dealing with different type of issues, and learning how to resolve some of those issues. So once I got very familiar with my job, doing that became a lot easier.
Yeah. Like most other things, they say practice makes perfect.
It does.
And I guess that over time, your comfort and familiarity with what you were doing began to rise. You became more comfortable doing what you're doing and more knowledgeable about what you're doing.
Absolutely.
In the course of your work, you get to meet a lot of people, I'm sure.
I do.
And to assist a lot of people. What does that mean to you as a public servant, to be able to be engaged with so many different kinds of people and to be able to be in a position to actually help them?
It gives me great pleasure to be able to help someone. A lot of days I go to work, you see people that you can help, and you can immediately see the result from that. And some people you help, you only see the result sometime down the road. And I enjoy that.
Mm-hmm. And you see kids today, one of the things, I remember being a kid myself, I'd look at police officers and I'd see the uniform. I'd see a fireman. Back then, there were no firewomen. I'm that old that there were no firewomen when I was growing up. And you'd see those public servants, and I was always amazed at what they did. To know that they were frontline people. Even as a young child, I realized frontline people, first responders, they were the ones that stood on the wall for us in our community and made things right in many situations. There must be an awful lot of pride that goes in the service that you provide to the community, not from a personal perspective, but from the perspective of saying that you are making a difference.
It is a lot of pride taken into that. And going through the academy, they teach you a lot of those things, how to wear the uniform, your presence, and all that stuff just take a good place. And I've learned, I enjoy it.
Yeah. What do you enjoy most about being a police officer?
Meet new people and a task. You get a task every day, and you never know what to expect. And once you go in there and you talk to people, it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Great feeling.
I got a chance to ride out of South Precinct with Officer Eric Newby, one day, and Eric and I go way back, so I got a chance to spend a whole shift with him last fall. And one of the highlights of that shift was the fact that I got to go to roll call. First time going to roll call. I've seen roll call on TV lots of times, and I had this idea about what that's like from TV.
Right.
But your shift begins with roll call usually, and there's information that's shared, and there's I guess, a reconnection to having been away for a moment, now getting back engaged with your work. Over the course of a shift, you obviously, as I said, interact with lots of people and do lots of different things. How do you define yourself as a police officer? Engage in this kind of community work that sometimes is very long and very demanding and calls on you to use so many different skills and access so many different resources. How do you see yourself as a consequence of making that kind of a commitment?
Well, it's kind of hard to say. You really get a chance to see how you do things sometimes from your point of view, but once you learn the resources that you have and you know how to use them and when to use those resources, it's become a lot more easier. So I don't get a chance to see what you get a chance to see, but once I know what I'm doing, it just flows.
And you've been a police officer now for how many years?
18 years.
All right. Has it been a good 18 years?
Great 18 years.
You looking for another 18?
I'm looking for another.
I think that's great to know that, because to know that you take pride in what you do, you certainly own what you do, you embrace the realities that are part of your work, but you're looking forward to a future in this field says a lot. Huntsville Police Department, I think, has grown in a lot of ways that I've seen a lot of positive things happening. And I think that with officers that are committed, the level of dedication that they have and the leadership that they have, will continue to expand and grow in positive ways. Do you see the future of HPD as a bright future for our community?
I really do. I really do.
Yeah. Do you ever talk to people that want to be police officers, and what do you tell them?
All the time, apply.
Just apply.
Apply and make sure you just, have your mindset right.
Yeah.
It's a fun job.
Yeah. And I guess another important piece too, especially if they're high school students, they want to think about the choices they're making now, because every choice they make, and this is the case in any profession, but whatever choice they make now could follow them along the way. And they want to think about making the right choices along the way, because if they want a career in law enforcement, a career in government, any kind of thing, right, they want to make sure that they keep their noses clean.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You certainly are a role model to many in our community. You're a role model to me. You wear the uniform and you protect us, and I'm very proud that you all do that. And you represent a group of people that I've come to admire quite a bit in terms of just the work that you do, because you guys lay it on the line. And I say guys meaning gals too, but guys and gals. Women and men lay it on the line every day, and we're very proud of that. You, of course, have a couple of boys.
I do.
I know you're very proud of them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What's it like being a dad of two boys?
It's fun. It is great.
Yeah, they get a good chance to hang out with you from time to time.
They do.
Do their thing.
Yes, sir.
That's wonderful. Well, we really appreciate you being here with us today, Officer Stephen Jackson. We appreciate the information that you shared with us and helping us get to know a little bit about who you are. And we appreciate all the great work that you're doing in our community. Thank you very much for your service.
Pleasure.
All right. We'll be back with another edition of Getting to Know Your Local Police, and we hope to see you then. I'm Kenny Anderson. In the meantime, have a great day. All right.
Is it?
We're good.